Hey guys, what's up? Toboloco here. Welcome back to your Subscriber World Cup for the month of July. It's come around so quickly. Like literally the other day I was thinking, oh yeah, like Subscriber World Cup's ages away, and then I realized it's almost the end of July and I have to do it within like a couple of days. So yeah, time flies fast. We've got some really good entries today. We got 2 Subscriber World Cups for you today, and I managed to squeeze in almost everybody apart from maybe 2 people, so I do apologize to those 2 people. I just want to say as well before we start this that this Subscriber World Cup, only this one, is just going to be normal. And when I say normal, I mean usually in a Subscriber World Cup the eliminated teams will drop down into the second chance Subscriber World Cup. Well, that's not going to happen today. Today, basically, if you get eliminated, you are eliminated, and then the next Subscriber World Cup will be basically the 32 people that didn't get into the first one. So basically there's 2, they all mean the same and everything like that, but nobody drops down into the second one. I just want to try it this week, or this month, sorry, because I just wanted to try it and see if it works better or whatever, and just get your guys' opinions on it, if you like it or not. I'm sure a lot of you like the old system, but I just want to try this new system just for this month. Okay, so, alright, let's get into the names then. Bahamas is represented by Johnny Brennan. Jordan represented by Mahmoud Akwel. Latvia represented by Giga Edits Official. And Cuba represented by AI 14106. In Group B we had Cape Verde represented by 002118. Estonia represented by 2 people, Poitorek or Poitorek, sorry if I got that wrong, and the Eston. We got Ethiopia represented by Liquid, and Curacao represented by Arsenal Ball. In Group C we have Ecuador represented by Mr. Vinny, Sweden represented by Effortless Perfection, Zambia represented by Matadu Fui, and Wales represented by Footy Predictions. In Group D we have Greece represented by Olympiacos, UEFA Conference League winners 2024, and Chris Sanas, I think. Chile represented by the City Centre, Denmark represented by Epsi and Wasteland Wanderer, and Canada represented by Qatar Historical. In Group E we have South Africa represented by Wasabi 1982-1, Poland represented by Krisu 1998, Slovenia represented by Not So Live, and Egypt represented by Mr. Krabs. In Group F we have Turkey represented by Tanya Kanahan and Football Finley, Bosnia represented by Acom 8888, Albania represented by Cold Edits, and Australia represented by Penguin Sports and Cuthbert McVeigh. In the big groups we have Portugal represented by 3 people, Real Marco, Typhoon Fake, and Christian Grammar. France represented by Patrick Mealy, Argentina represented by SRE Penthouses, Germany double entry represented by Isaac Vea and St. Mark 2004, Brazil represented by Algica Safalon Algududu, Spain represented by Ellie Jizzy, Italy represented by Poli Chronicles and John Casas, and Serbia represented by Miss Alive 626. So you all know who you are, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this July edition of your Subscriber World Cup. So this bit we simulate really quickly, and then the rest of it we just do it live, so I'll see you in a bit. Alright then guys, so these are your group stages for the first Subscriber World Cup, and well, we've got some really cool teams going through here, so let's review them. You all know who you are, but Cuba win Group A alongside Latvia. In Group B we have Cape Verde winning that group alongside Curacao going through in second place. Sweden and Wales go through in Group C. Denmark and Chile go through in Group D. Egypt and Poland go through in Group E. Group F sees Bosnia and Australia going through. In Group G, it was Germany dominating that group, with basically the rest of them having 3 points, and Argentina were the ones to go through. And in Group H, we have Italy going through alongside Spain, Brazil getting eliminated alongside Serbia, which sets up a round of 16 with Cuba versus Curacao, Sweden versus Chile, Cape Verde versus Latvia, Denmark versus Wales. We have Egypt versus Australia, Germany versus Spain, Bosnia versus Poland, and Italy versus Argentina. Alright then guys, so you know how we do this now. By now, you've all watched it. We basically simulate this bit live. We have 2 matches here in the round of 16, Sweden and Chile, and Cuba versus Curacao. Most of these matches are really well matched up and very hard to call. So let's simulate this as single match day and see what happens. Okay, let's go back and review it. And Sweden beat Chile by 3 goals to 2. And Cuba beat Curacao by 2 goals to 0. Moving on to the second bunch of matches, we have Denmark versus Wales and Cape Verde versus Latvia. So simulate those. And what happened? Wales beat Denmark by 1 goal to 0. And Cape Verde beat Latvia by 1 goal to 0 as well. Okay. So next up we have some big clashes here. We have Germany versus Spain and Egypt versus Australia. So one of the favourites could be eliminated right now. Let's have a look and see who it is. We'll go back and have a look. Who is it? Germany edged out Spain 3-2 in the end. And also we have Egypt beating Australia by 2 goals to 1. So well done Egypt for that one. And lastly, in the round of 16, we have Bosnia versus Poland and Italy versus Argentina. Simulate those two. And I believe Poland, it did say Poland got eliminated, I think. So, and you can see the Bosnian flag as well on the calendar. So yes, they did get eliminated on penalties, I believe. And Italy beat Argentina by 3 goals to 1. So nice one. Quarter-final time, we have Egypt versus Germany and Cuba versus Sweden. Some real chances for some upsets here for a few of you. So let's see what will happen here in this quarterfinal. Oh, Egypt came close. It was 3-2. Germany almost got elimination there, but they managed to pull it through and get the 3-2 win. Next up, Cuba and Sweden drew 0-0, so we don't know who's gone through yet until the quarterfinals are over. Alright, that's interesting. Next up, we have Bosnia versus Italy and Cape Verde versus Wales. So, alright, let's see if Bosnia can, you know, do Italy. Maybe. Let's have a look. No, I just saw it. Bosnia just got eliminated. And it was Cape Verde Islands reaching the semi-final against Wales 2 goals to 1. So next up in this tournament we have Sweden versus Germany and Cape Verde Islands versus Italy. I'd love it if Cape Verde Islands got through to the final of this, especially considering that there were bigger teams in this Subscriber World Cup. That is mental. And obviously Sweden as well. So let's have a look and see who does it. Let's simulate this match day. And it was 2-2. Oh, we don't know yet until the semi-final is over. Okay. Alright. Germany have been stumbling through in previous rounds, so maybe they met their match. And next up, there could be a massive shock on the cards. Cape Verde Islands versus Italy. Can they do it? Let's simulate it and find out. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I can see Germany are in third place playoff. What a final we could have in store here. Cape Verde Islands versus Sweden. So Germany versus Italy, third place playoff. I hope it doesn't automatically simulate to the end, but I believe I am representing Sweden as well. I think I clicked them to sort of represent them and follow them, so it won't simulate the final, I don't think. So let's see who's our third place winner quickly. It was Germany. Okay, so Germany is your third place winner. That was 2 people, Isaac Thayer and St. Mark 2004. Congratulations, you finished third with Germany. However, given the opposition in the semi-final, probably should have done a bit better than that. And Italy crashing out to Cape Verde. 4th place is still respectable, but still, I mean, Poly Chronicles and John's Cast are unlucky. You came 4th with Italy and Cape Verde knocked you out. That's I don't know how you feel about that, but for me, that might be a little bit on the embarrassing side if I was coaching Italy. So next up then, we have a final between Sweden and Cape Verde Islands. We'll watch that in real time. Obviously we will, because that is a cool final. And yeah, let's just have a look at the tournament tree. This is how it all went down. You can see some of the details there, you know, some of the penalty details and that. Really good tournament. And again, the final is looking very, very tasty to watch in real time. So I'll see you there. So here we go then. 2 people remain in this Subscriber World Cup, the first one. And here are your 2 people. Sweden, represented by Effortless Perfection. And Cape Verde, represented by 002118. So I looked at the teams before we started this, well, played this final, and Cape Verde are actually a 3-star team. I was here like acting they were like, you know, a 1.5, 2-star team, but they are actually a fairly solid side on this game, so I didn't realize that. So anything can happen, because Sweden are a 4-star team. Obviously they have better talent around the pitch, but anything can happen in this final. So we got Sweden versus Cape Verde Islands coming up next. Good ball, header, and that's gone in. What kind of goalkeeping was that? Elmander just scored the lightest header in the world, and Sweden are 1-0 up in this Subscriber World Cup final. Just a really nice cross outside of the boot and then headed in, and well, that goalkeeping would let you down. You know, this Subscriber World Cup, when we do watch them, the difficulty is on legendary, so both sides are playing at a legendary level, but obviously the goalkeeper, the save was definitely not legendary, and it is 1-0 to Sweden. Kim Kallström, and that's the ball to Elmander. It's blocked. Great block by the Cape Verde defence. Ryan Mendes, can he stir something up for Cape Verde Islands? That's a great ball, and oh, what a save by the Swedish keeper. That ball was insane. If he didn't react to it fast enough, then obviously it would have been a goal. But that was the one limited chance that Cape Verde have had apart from this corner. There's only 2 minutes to play. What can they do? It's crossed in and it's just straight into the keeper. I think that'll be game over. I think Sweden will probably be your champions now. And that is going to be it. Sweden have won the Subscriber World Cup against all the odds up until the final when they played a slightly easier opponent. But yeah, well, Sweden, effortless perfection. Congratulations, you are our champion for this Subscriber World Cup in July. Obviously, we have another Subscriber World Cup and someone else will be a champion as well. But you won the first one, which is obviously really cool. So congratulations, you've navigated Sweden all the way to the final and beat Cape Verde Islands by 1-0. Now Cape Verde Islands, represented by 002118, unlucky. You brought Cape Verde Islands almost to the brink of glory, right? You were right there. And I don't mean to like sort of tease it or whatever, but oh man, like there were just a couple of attempts where Cape Verde Islands should have done better in that final, but I understand that they were outclassed by Sweden in a way, but it was only 1-0. It's very respectable. You have won second place in our Subscriber World Cup. So that was your first one. Now let's get on to the second one. Alright then guys, so this is your second Subscriber World Cup, not second chance because nobody's dropped down. It's 32 brand new people. So in no particular order, I'm just going to read out the names that I've written down. So Algeria is represented by Zion Molina, Equatorial Guinea represented by Douglas Teesman and Talking Benga, Timor-Leste represented by TMK Big Tago Man. Okay, Israel represented by Lahat Soto and Elon Pier. Armenia represented by Alexei Saar. Iran represented by Seth Hernandez. San Marino represented by Peter Schwartz. Philippines represented by Guest 1337 Classic and Kurt Villanueva. Cook Islands represented by Cargos, Sierra Leone represented by Ryan Bromhead, Austria represented by JC Eurovision Fan, Morocco represented by Conrad, Costa Rica represented by Miss Video Games, Scotland represented by Forest Fanatic Sean, Laos represented by Madman E, Romania represented by Live the German or Ilf the German. I'm not sure about that one. Belarus represented by Job Center Plus. USA represented by Bryant Jimenez. New Zealand represented by New York City FC fan and Luis Martinez. Slovakia represented by Paolo Parzano. Mexico represented by Hamlet. Finland represented by Andre. Japan represented by Bobby Clark, left leg. Guinea represented by Kleptrep. Honduras represented by Football's Vids. Luxembourg represented by Cincinnati Fan 67. Indonesia, represented by Bro Jeko Star. Georgia represented by Alex Bitzadze. Libya represented by Alicia C81, and then there was another guy as well, but I couldn't read his name because I believe it was Arabic, so I apologize, I can't read it. South Korea represented by Narian Hans 4423. Bangladesh represented by Isaac GLC, and China represented by Francisco Fratelli Rodriguez. Alright then, so you all know who you are, and obviously we do this part really quick on camera, so I'll see you in a bit. Okay then guys, so we have your groups here, and like I said, you all know who you are if you're following it properly. Let's see who went through and who went out. So, in Group A, we have Austria and Israel going through in that one. In Group B, we have the Philippines and Luxembourg going through in Group B. Group C sees New Zealand and Libya go through with 6 points each. Group D, it was United States and Japan going through. Group E was Scotland and South Korea going through in that one. We have in Group F, Mexico and Slovakia going through. Group G, Belarus and Laos went through. And in Group H, Costa Rica finished with 9 points with Honduras following them. So, in the round of 16 then we have Austria versus Luxembourg, New Zealand versus Japan, Philippines versus Israel, USA versus Libya, Scotland versus Slovakia, Belarus versus Honduras, we have Mexico versus South Korea, and Costa Rica versus Laos. Alright then, so obviously we're going to do this part, you know, in real time. We've got Austria versus Luxembourg and New Zealand versus Japan for our first couple of round of 16 games. Simulate those and see what happens in that. And going back to them, we can see Austria slapped Luxembourg 6-0. And then we got a draw between Japan and New Zealand, so I won't know who went through until we go to the next round. Next up, we have the Philippines versus Israel and the USA versus Libya. So let's see what will happen in this one. Any shock results on the cards? Let's have a look. Almost Israel beat the Philippines by 2-1, and USA beat Libya 4-0. So unlucky Philippines. We have Scotland versus Slovakia and Belarus versus Honduras for our next set of games. Simulate this day and see what happens in those. We have Slovakia beating Scotland by 1-0 and Belarus beating Honduras by 1-0 as well. Okay, so your final round of 16 games, we have Mexico versus South Korea and Costa Rica versus Laos. So any surprises, especially for the Costa Rica game? That would be cool, but we'll see. And we got Mexico beating South Korea by 4-0. And Costa Rica, no surprise, beat Laos 5-0. Let's see who we got next. We have Slovakia versus Belarus and Austria versus Japan. So in the last round, obviously, Japan went through on penalties. So let's simulate this day and see what happens. It was 2-2 between Slovakia and Belarus and 1-1 between Austria and Japan. Obviously, we don't know until we go into the next round who went through. Next up, we have Mexico versus Costa Rica in the final. And then we got Israel versus the United States in the other one. So interesting games there. Let's see what happens. Simulate that day. And oh, wow, I think there was a big result somewhere. Mexico beat Costa Rica 2-0 and Israel beat United States presumably on penalties. It was 2-2 and yeah, Israel beat United States. Okay, right, so we have got Austria versus Belarus and Israel versus Mexico. Quite interesting games for our semi-finals. So let's just simulate them and see what happens. Austria versus Belarus first. see what happens in that one. It was Austria winning 3-1, so Austria have made the final. So that's kind of expected, to be fair, because they are better than Belarus. So yeah, cool. And then next up we have Israel versus Mexico. Okay, let's simulate that one. I expect Mexico to go through, really, but we'll see. It's thinking about it. And yes, okay, so Mexico did beat Israel, so our final is going to be Austria versus Mexico. Of course, I'm going to watch that because that is very interesting. Let's just simulate the third place playoff game between Belarus and Israel. Let's have a look and see who wins that one. And it was 2-2, but Belarus came third. So, looking at this, Belarus came third. It was Job Center Plus with the third place medal in this one. So congratulations to you. You came third with Belarus. That's not a bad effort at all. There were some decent teams in here, and Belarus really held their own until the end against Austria. And obviously they beat Israel on penalties in the third place playoff thing. And of course, speaking of Israel, we have two people to congratulate coming forth with Israel. Those two people were Lahav Soto and Elon Pierre. Congratulations, you've come forth with Israel. Well done. So let's just have a look at this tournament tree and see basically some of the penalties and that. You know, you get a deeper insight into what happened before we start our final. Yeah, there was some really good penalty shootouts in that one. Really good ones. Yeah, really nice Subscriber World Cup, just like the first one, and I cannot wait to see this final coming up next. So here we go then, the final of the other Subscriber World Cup between Austria and Mexico. Austria is represented by JC Eurovision Fan, and Mexico is represented by Hamlet. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. This looks to be a slightly more equal final. So Santos on the ball here for Mexico, and Guardado over the top. This is beautiful play. This has to end in a goal, right? Oh, that was so... I was about to say, he almost got away with that. Chopped down the Mexican player, and this could be the Austrian keeper seeing red in this match, potentially. We'll see. No, it's not. He still stays on, but it's Javier Hernandez with the penalty. Can he do it? He has. Cool as you like. And Javier Hernandez has scored for Mexico to make it 1-0. And, well, I mean, what was the Austrian keeper doing? What was he doing? He literally just wiped out the Mexican player going through on the wing. And, yeah, they paid the price for it. Austria trying to press. They might have got in behind here. And, oh, my goodness, what a miss. Just before halftime. How? Oh my goodness, Austria. That was a howler. The goal was open. Great play by Mexico. Is there a chance? That's 2. And that will be probably game over. Zabala has scored for Mexico. And that is 2-0. What a move by Mexico. So it's the 90th minute. And, well, we're very close to crowning Hamlet as your Subscriber World Cup champion. What an effort by him to get Mexico here and beat Austria quite convincingly as well, to be fair. It wasn't like luck or anything like that. It was a very good performance. Mexico were just miles better than Austria, really. They shut down Austria every chance they got going forward, and obviously they scored some brilliant goals against Austria as well. So Hamlet is your champion, your other champion for the month of July for your Subscriber World Cup, and JC Eurovision Fan is the second place or runner-up for July. Unlucky that you couldn't get it done in the final. However, getting here with Austria is very good, and you should be happy with that. I hope so anyway. I really hope you guys enjoyed this edition of your July Subscriber World Cup. Tune in for August, where you can pick anyone you want. And yeah, keep it local as always. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you again for the next video.